Hello, Dean. If you can hear me, mate.
Yeah, I can hear you. Thanks, buddy.
On a very, very tough day. Just give us your thoughts on that performance, that result.
Yeah, the result, the scoreline hurts. I didn't think it was a 3-0, if I'm honest, but the amount of the goals that we conceded was poor. We've conceded a soft penalty. Ken held his hands up. It might not be given in other circumstances because does he make contact with him in the air? But once he plants his foot, he doesn't really do enough to knock the lad over. But I can understand why it was given, so I've got no complaints. And it was a pretty even game after that. It changes on the 38th minute. We have a really good chance at the far post for Lungi, and he doesn't get a good enough contact. And they break, and we don't recover in good areas. And they scored a goal that I feel they shouldn't have. I feel we should be blocking the shot. We've got the lad going wide. He pulls it back, and there's no real. It's not a big chance to concede, and it's not a good goal to concede. And 2-0 knocks the stuffing out of you a little bit, and then naivety really in our box for the third goal. I think they take 5 or 6 touches without anybody getting anywhere close to them, and I think Schlupp smashes it across gun. But what we had at when I first came in, I was really quietly optimistic with the quality of the squad, but it's been decimated at the moment, and that's where we were today.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, obviously, another 3 big senior players unavailable. What can you give us as an update on those, Dean? Max, Todd, and Timu? Yeah,
Max, Todd, and Timu all pulled out yesterday with a mixture of illness and injury. I've been outspoken about the festive scheduling with the Omicron about at the moment. It's been the same for all teams. I don't really think it's fair that there's 4 games that are asked to play today within 48 hours of Boxing Day. If it's a fair competition, then everybody should be playing within 48 hours. That's tough to turn around a team, especially with the amount of injuries and illnesses we've got at the moment.
Yeah, and just as a follow-up on that, it looked like Yanulis was hobbling there as he came back out for the second half. Was that an injury-related change at half-time for Dimmy?
Yeah, no, Dimmy pulled out at half-time. Didn't feel he could go on. I think it was a foot injury. So that was another one that's gone as well at the moment. So it's tough at the moment. We're halfway there. We haven't got anywhere near enough points as we would like. And the optimism that we had, when we first came in has unfortunately ebbed away with certainly the last 3 games and last 3 results. But we're lacking a lot of experience and leaders, within the group at the moment who unfortunately are injured or ill.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that optimism ebbing away, and that's reflected, you'll have heard it, I'm sure your players heard it, the away supporters are very, very frustrated. 5 straight defeats, no goals in those 5. What can you possibly say, you and your players, to give them any belief that you can turn this around in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I said to the players at half-time, you need to go out and show some character and some pride in the second half. I didn't think the first half was a 3-0 first half. It was just the manner of the goals that were conceded that's disappointing. And sometimes unfortunately, the scoreline is the only thing, and the result, the only thing that people will talk about. Could we and should we have scored a goal today? Yeah, I think we should. I thought we created more chances today than we have done in a lot of other games. But at the moment, we're just falling short.
You obviously have got a lot of injuries and illnesses. Do you need some help in January now? I know you said your focus has been on the games, but as we get closer and the results aren't turning around, do you need to now maybe have a look at getting a bit of help from outside?
No, I think it's really difficult because, as I said, when I came into the football club, we were leaving 2 or 3 players out of 11v11 practice games in training. So we've got a squad here. Unfortunately, it's not a healthy squad at the moment with injury and illnesses. So everybody knows the model of the football club. You can't carry that big a squad and, go and bring other players in. So what we'll have to do, I'll sit down with Stuart and see where we are. But at the moment, we've got to make sure we try and turn around very quickly for another tough game now at Leicester.
Yeah, and on that front, I mean, is there any chance like Max, Timu or Todd could be available? And with Demi's injury as well now, is there even a doubt about that potential game in terms of the amount of players you've got available?
No, I think you have to put up an argument. I think if you've got 13 players and a goalkeeper, then that's a fit enough squad. And Johnny Rowe's come on today, which is probably the most pleasing thing about it, that he's got some minutes. Would I have wanted him to put him on 3-0 down at Crystal Palace away for his Premier League debut? No. The kid's going to have a really good future at this football club. It's not right to be putting him on, but now he's on, he'll become one of them 13. I'm guessing in the Premier League's tally table for getting games on and off, I suppose.
I mean, I was going to ask you about him as well. I mean, he's obviously getting a lot of headlines at development level. You clearly watched some of those games. As a player there, you think you could develop and work with? Yeah, no, he's got a bit. The boy, he's done well for the 23s, and he's been in and around us training and did really well. And we've been pleased with his developments. But I'm not so sure he's Premier League ready at the moment in a relegation battle. Final one for me. I mean, how do you keep the spirits high, and how do you lift this group of players? Because it's obviously a very, very tough moment for them at the minute. Yeah, first of all, I'm going to go and try and lift myself, and the dog's going to have a 5-hour walk. And once I've recovered my spirits, then I'll come in and work on the players then. Cheers, Dean. Thanks for your time. All the best. Thanks, Paddy.
Cheers, Paddy. Finally, JD from Sky, please. JD.
Dean, that was very thorough, so I haven't really got many other questions. I think I would just ask you, I haven't had a chance to talk to you since you've become Norwich head coach, and I think about the start that you had, and I think about the Brentford, the Southampton, and even the Wolves performance right at the beginning of your reign, stand corrected. And in comparison to what we're seeing now, just what's changing? Is it just purely down to injuries and COVID, not having the players available, or are you seeing a significant difference?
Yeah, listen, we've got some major injury and illness problems of some big players for this football club. We've got our captain, Grant Hanley, out. We've got Tim Krull out. We've got Timu Pukki out. We've got Matthias Norman out. We've got Max Aarons, who's played pretty much every game out. It's a real longer injury list. And we got battered in the first half, in the first game against Southampton. But because we had senior players and people with experience of this level, they kept us in the game. And by keeping us in the game, it helps us to earn the win and turn around the performance. At the moment, we probably haven't got that experience in the ranks. As I've said, young Johnny Rowe getting his debut off the bench today. 2 young wide players who I believe have got big futures, but are still learning the game at this level. It's a tough level, the Premier League, and I think the physicality and the experience of Crystal Palace was the difference today.
I think the one glaring stat that would stand to me would just be the 7.5 hours without a goal. At this moment in time, looking at the performance today, there were chances to create a goal. It's just the final element, of course, of putting the ball into the net. What can you do to change that?
All you can do is try and keep creating chances. Eventually the players will score. I was really, really angry after the Arsenal game. I didn't think we played anywhere near where we could, despite injuries and illness. Today, I'm not angry. I'm disappointed with the manner of goals. But we created some good chances today, and other times you put them in. All you can do is keep creating chances.